The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the K-Ghost Radio Network and its website are those of the host, guest, and participants, and they are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcast, management, or advertisers of the network. The show is found under LJA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LJA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last. There's a full moon shining, lighting up the highway like a beacon to you. If I can make it on time, have some moonlit stay line, the roll of diesel right on through.
From deep in the desert of Nevada, broadcasting to the world, it's the Glenn Larry Show. Are you ready? What you are about to experience is real. Right along with us. From deep in the desert of Nevada, the Glenn Larry Show.
And I am live with everybody, and welcome to the show. I bid you welcome wherever you may be, what time zone you might be, and to all the late night drivers, friends of mine. I've met so many through the years at the Golden Strike back in the day. And to ham operators and sidebanders, 73s to you, the silent key, of course, Whiskey 60 Baker, you know that would be K6RCL and beautiful Goleta, California. And to all my affiliates out there and small broadcasters, especially the LPFMs and the LPAMs network, we do bid you hello and thank you for tuning us in and carrying our show. Any stations out there would like to do so, contact K-Ghost Radio, FM 11.3, AM 1610. It's Ghost Town, USA. It's right. We're having fun. And like I say to the prompt station up there in Prompt, Nevada, the KPFF, nice little station. They're doing great. Boy, listen to them in Prompt. I beg you, because they're a great station, good music, good old-fashioned rock and roll. You're gonna love it. Yeah, and I do bid them well myself. And to all folks all the world, hello. Yes, tonight's gonna be a special night. I have Chief Hall, Police Chief Hall. He was Fire Chief Hall for many, many years, and his guest, Teacher Lynn. Teacher Lynn is her name. And I do bid you guys hello. How you doing? Can you hear? Are you with me?
Everything doing good.
Well, that's good. I want you to get closer to your microphones. That'll help us all out. And there you go. That's what I want. And of course, we got you on camera. You're on YouTube. You're on Facebook. You're on a bunch of. You're live. We're live. Okay. So you don't want to be picking. Okay. Yes. It's all about having fun, and that's what we do here on K-Ghost. I'm telling you, so many people are listening right now, and I'm glad they are. I was talking with you earlier, a couple of years back, both of you, but a couple of years back with Chief Hall here. EMS is so important, and I wish you'd get more paroles. I mean, especially firefighters, police, all ambulance, everybody.
Responders, firefighters today, we need many of them, and there's not getting a lot of people's not interested of them, but the ones we have are doing an excellent job.
It is so much to volunteer, a lot of studying, a lot of training you guys go through. I was on the department here for 5 years, and also the other side of law enforcement back in the day. But what you guys go through, the training, can you explain some of that to me?
There's a lot of training. when I started, well, a lot of training. Nowadays, all national stuff, volunteer, paid guys. Everybody takes the same training. Paid and volunteer, there's no difference. They're both the same guys. They're still going to rescue what the situation is. Just some take it as a career and some does it just help out.
How many volunteers do you have?
Our station, we're probably running 30 volunteers, and our rosters sometimes a little bit lower, a little bit higher.
I just put a picture of your station up, and that should be being seen. And of course, we have your fire truck right here. This is pretty cool. I can see it on this end here. And
that's our new station. It's only about going on 10 years old.
Right. Here is kind of your banner, which is kind of cool. Avondale Fire Department.
That's that's either rescue or engine 1.
Yeah. Your station 23, right? How
23.
many fire engines do you have?
We got a rescue truck, 2 pumpers, a tanker, 3 ambulances, several support units.
Yeah, right. Okay.
We have a pretty good size station.
Right. Gosh. And if you could talk past the microphone, we're getting a little, I don't have a windscreen on you. There you go. All right.
A little better.
Yeah, perfect.
There we go.
There you go. And so with all these units, what is a department like that? This is a private fire company, right?
Yes. We just bought a new Seagraves unit that came in at $850,000. And that was before we put equipment on. That was just a truck.
Yeah. I'll be darned. Yeah. And
they're expensive.
Yeah. And
I don't care if they're, I know Clark County here is all paid, but truck's truck. They build them the same way they build ours.
Yeah. Right on. And they are pretty.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah.
Most of the stations take pride in their trucks, keep them polished up and good to go. It's kind of,
Right. With all that, your ambulance side, it's in the same building too?
Yes. Our ambulance is the same there too. We have paramedics.
Right.
We have 94 paramedics with us.
Gosh.
And then we have 3 ambulances. Now, all of our stuff, as far as that goes, all paid. We have all paid stuff.
Wow.
All of our people are paid, volunteer in.
Yeah.
Used to be back in the days, but not now.
Oh. And so it's funded by donations and what else? How do you get your funding?
Funded by donations, and then the townships and boroughs that we service.
Yeah, they donate too also. Yeah. So on your whole department, how many you got altogether?
Our whole roster. I mean,
firefighters.
Our membership's probably 300-400 people.
Yeah.
But the active part is probably 40.
What's the worst fire you've ever been in, Chief? I know that's quite a question.
Well, yeah, it's kind of questioned over the years. It's really hard to say.
Yeah.
A building's a building. I mean,
right.
You can't send men in if it's on fire. It's bad.
Nope. Yeah.
You lose some,
You don't want that happening. Yeah.
Up our way, we get hay pile fires that could burn for some days.
Wow. Yeah.
Or just, you got a hazardous material incident, and you go from that to an automobile accident. There's no 2 incidents ever the same.
Okay. What about pyromaniacs? And there are a lot of those out there starting fires?
They're out there. We've had some years ago, but I think every fire department somewhere has had to deal with one of them, I think. Right
on. Gosh, I know it's a lot.
Over the years, it's been, the volunteering guys has slowed down. Of course, everything's more or less going paid everywhere.
Yeah.
You're getting guys to volunteer and ladies to volunteer. I shouldn't say all guys. It's all everybody. It's ladies, guys, both. You're doing the same thing at Bay Guide. You left the job to come get on a fire truck and
save lives and save
knock
property.
on wood. You come back home.
Right.
But there's always that 1% chance something might happen.
Yeah. Have you lost anybody?
Luckily, we have not. We have never lost nobody in our department on a call.
That's great. That's that training. That's all that.
Yeah.
Brother looking after brother.
Nobody.
Yeah. I remember I was up there with you, and my first fire call with you. It's at 3 a.m. Till 3 a.m. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. You guys were very concise. Everybody knew what to be told. You were the command post, and everything was done properly. I was set back. I just couldn't believe how organized Station 23 was.
Well,
I'm very impressed.
It's just not ours. The rest of the station, same way.
Yeah.
Every station has a little something they do different. You know, we have our ways, and
Right.
But, the next station out has theirs, the next station over may have theirs, but the outcome's always the same.
So you cover how many counties?
Well, we don't cover county, we cover townships.
Townships. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What? I mean,
We have a pretty good district, I guess. We're probably 4.5 miles,
right.
probably by 3 miles or so, 4 miles wide.
And you have fire police also, correct?
Yes, we have fire police. Fire police are in ours they direct traffic, shut roads down. They take care of the trucks, make sure all traffic's cut off and everything else.
Right.
Our fire police officers protect all them units while they're working.
Right on. Yeah.
They're part of the units now. There's not all states do not have fire police.
Yeah.
There's only about, I think, 12 or 15 states that have fire police officers.
Right. On that, how many, like before I asked about the paramedic type of thing, how many calls have you had that were started by somebody just lighting fires?
Nothing lately.
Yeah.
Back years ago, and I'm talking years ago,
right.
we had a problem with that off and on.
Yeah.
Not
right.
now. It's kind of today's times. There's too many
cameras and
everything everywhere.
Good.
So, times change.
Right. My goodness.
We've been lucky. We haven't had many. And
now I saw that your department there, I was very impressed how nicely that was laid out, and you had places for people to sleep and big, huge kitchen, I think everybody was cooking something in there,
Oh, yeah.
It's not pretty good. And I know that your son is a fireman also.
Yes.
Yes.
My son, Steven, he's a firefighter and fire police officer.
That's great. That's great.
He does a good job.
Yep.
Of course, all of our people do a good job. It just ain't us.
Yeah.
It's everybody has to come together and make the situation work.
I got to say,
not one person doing it.
Yeah. I got to say hello to that Bill guy, the 151 guy. Yeah. I got to say hello to him.
Officer Bill, he's fire police officer.
Yeah.
He's
Bill.
a really good fella.
Yeah. And the other guy in Florida and all that. Gosh, what a crew. I was very impressed with these folks. But now I'm going to ask you a question here. It's kind of way off the link here, but our show's about phenomena, UFOs and ghosts and all that. I know in a manual that I have for Clark County, it mentions something about a downed, unidentified flying object. What do you have anything in your manual telling you how to handle that if it's a UFO crash? Do you get hold of the FAA or
for airplanes? I don't know about UFOs.
Yeah, but what if you had a crash saucer?
I don't know what we'd do there.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting. That'd be a flip of a coin. Something like that happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what procedure would have to be followed there.
Yeah,
but I know we don't have one.
Yeah, it might be coming.
You never know,
because it's a pretty big thing now. The crash site, the investigation's going on right now with this gentleman that's the whistleblower, and that's what he does. He recovers down UFOs, and it's out. He's out of the bag now, folks. So it's becoming big stuff, and so I know that there's a section somewhere in the manual they have that I was shown a couple years back. I go, well. Yeah, someone knows something we don't know.
There you go.
I do want to say hello to Ken and Dee out there in Florida. Also, Neil and Barbara in London, and Pat and Jane out of Canada. Randy in PA. Good to see him. Numbers are climbing up here on the listeners. Yeah, we've got Montana again. We've got several listeners in Canada on the radio side. I think that's fantastic. Keep tuning in. And remember to go to YouTube and do subscribe and do like us, please. And ring that bell. So every time we're on, you're going to enjoy that. We're going to go to a commercial break here, and we'll be back right after this. Thanks again.
Mom, you wanted to talk to me?
The calendar hypnosis into thumbtack cushion, completely tailwind. And sewing elephants plant before cartoon paper cups. So numbers renovate.
If your teenager is trying drugs or alcohol, would you know the right words to use?
Afterward, lightly fish scale. Doorbell.
Find out what to say at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
There's no typical meth user. I was from an upper middle class family. Meth is terribly addictive. My first time using it, I was hooked. There was no turning back. I lost my job and I was homeless. I never thought I'd see my family again. I have a great fear of meth because it took so much of me. I mean, it took everything. Meth took over my soul.
Visit our website at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Now, back with Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio, deep in the desert of Nevada.
And we are back with Chief Hall, by the way, from Evandale, our guest tonight, and with his guest, Teacher Lynn. Yes, my goodness. Teacher Lynn, how you doing over there?
I'm doing wonderful.
Well,
Thank you.
You're coming in loud and clear too. It's great. So what grade do you teach?
Grade 6.
Grade 6, and it's in Florida.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. And what type of class do you teach? English, or how's that work? I don't know.
English reading.
Okay, good. And talk about reading. I know that a lot of people have dyslexia. Mm-hmm. I have a bit of it myself, but it's worked its way out, thank God. But it still struggles.
Right.
And people with dyslexia are wired differently, as we all know.
Yes.
We know more about it now than we did back in the 60s and 70s, you know. And you've got over 200 people in, I would say, actors, athletes, and musicians, and scientists, authors. Einstein was dyslexic. Did you know that?
I've heard that. Yes.
Yeah. And a lot of writers and some real severe scientists are really in the space program have had that, you know. And there is a website that you go to. It's ONGIG, and just dyslexic, which is spelled DYSLEXIA. I learned something today about that. And I'm trying to spell it every other way just to get it up on the deal. Oh, there it is. It normally comes right up, you know. But can you tell us a little about dyslexia?
Dyslexia is a processing disorder.
Yeah.
Where you see it one way, but it's different in your brain. So you're reading it a different way. Easiest way to describe it. I have, last year, out of 150 students, I had maybe 4 that were dyslexic, and they were primarily boys. I don't know why, but it seemed to be a boy thing.
I know there's an actress and a singer that has it.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there are females, and it's just rewiring and rethinking and reteaching your brain. It's a hard thing to catch. It really is a hard processing disorder to catch. So,
and it's said that, you know, once you know that they have that, for instance, they should know that too, that you have dyslexic.
Right.
Dyslexic.
That's not something you want to hide from a child, because they need to tell their teachers.
Right.
And as an educator, I should know that, but out of 150 kids, it's hard to remember everybody. So just remember I have dyslexia, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there are strategies that you can use to help overcome it. Not overcome, to help deal with it.
Process with it. Yeah.
So live with it. Right.
Right.
Simple things as a teacher, teaching them how to chunk their reading. So instead of reading the whole page, we might read paragraph.
Okay.
Things like that. Yeah. Making your margin notes on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of, I read the paragraph and then I have the kid read it back to me. And
do you use different colored paper when you do
Yes.
this? What is the most easiest color to read? I mean, to read, I've got black and white in front of me here.
Blue.
Blue.
I do a blue overlay on the kids, the kids' paper, a blue line reader, and I cover all the overhead. What are they called?
Fluorescent lights.
Fluorescent lights with blue.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
wow. So
like
that
a blue
just
sheer cloth.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I know the student that has this feels inferior to the other students, and some of them are ashamed and very shy about it. And especially when you take them aside and work just with them, they know, hey, he's got, it's a head trip, you know,
It is.
and especially with their peer group, you know. And so you're dealing with that. And then if the parents understanding why little Johnny can't read and do math because he has this,
right?
They don't have the They just don't understand it. Some parents don't. Trust me.
Oh, I know.
You know, and there's always special classes that we would go to, and what would happen is that, you know, that's that class. You know, you don't want to be going to that class or being in that class.
Right.
And yeah,
But most of those students are brilliant.
I know they are.
Most of my kids that have a processing disorder, dyslexia, dysgraphia, there's so many disorders, processing disorders,
Right.
are brilliant. I had one boy a few years ago that could make anything out of a piece of wood.
Wow.
I'd give him a piece of wood and he'd bring me back links that he had carved out.
Yeah.
Artist. I had another student that could draw and everything, anything.
Beautiful.
They just can't, for some reason.
Process. Yeah.
They want to.
Oh yeah. Oh,
It just
desperately.
isn't working for them.
And in my business, you got to have scripts in front of you and this type, and a lot of code reads. A lot of actors, folks, this is the truth. A lot of actors out there cannot read, or to get memorized what's been read to them with a bud in their ear, which helps them act.
Mm-hmm.
And their acting ability is incredible because they can ad lib and make it happen. And that's a talent. It's a gift. Acting is a gift. People go, well, darn actors. Well, I get that too. But yeah, it's a gift. And I have a lot of actor friends, a lot of people in radio, and I've been very blessed to do what I do. And to tell you, it was a rough start when we were younger. My gosh, it was hard. My dad had no idea. What's wrong with this kid? What's wrong with these kids? Why aren't they listening? How come they're interrupting the class? And because that comes with the hyperness too, and everything, you know. Mm-hmm. And you don't know what to do yourself, you know. I had it so bad I'd made up my own, life stories. You know, all right, you read out loud, you're going to be able to get a good or better grade. You know, so it had nothing to do with the book, but the teacher would go, "Really, Larry?" I go, "Well, was it good?" That's a D. But I got through it. And yeah, it took a while for it to leave. It leaves as you're an adult, you know, and you just got to work with yourself. And I know that certain guys there's all different types of dyslexia where the words actually crumble off the page. I don't have that. I just have sometimes
letters are transposed.
Transposed.
Numbers, transposed. And they each have a different name.
Right.
Just the broad, like the umbrella
Right.
would be dyslexia.
Right.
I know a lot of kids have dysgraphia where they write really tiny and really sloppy.
Yes, I've seen that.
And that's dysgraphia. And it's a fine motor skill. So if parents work with them, picking up coins off the floor, things like that to work on fine motor skills, it helps.
Really?
It helps.
Okay.
Having that parent involvement is the biggest thing.
Right. My dearest friend, both my god kids were smart kids, you know, and he worked with his kids all the time. He'd sit with them and whatever, and each child has its own capabilities and whatever, and he did very well with them. I remember going over their math today, and the math today is not the math we had back in the day. It is different. It is like, okay, how does this get to this number, from this number to get this number? Why just go 2 and 2 is 4? No, why is that 2 or 4? I mean, it's unbelievable. It's a different type of math.
It is. They have to understand the process of 2 + 2 = 4, not just 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah, right.
So,
well, yeah, you got two things.
like you said, a different world.
It is a different world, but the kids are a lot smarter too.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like it, but they are exposed to this internet, and they've got their head down in their phone, and all they're doing is here, you know, and now with this IA or whatever it is, intelligent AI, whatever. It is. I don't think it's going to help the educational field much.
No.
I think it'll take away, and there's got to be a control or how to find that they're using it, because everything that you want to write about is going to be different in different ways if it hasn't been punched before or whatever. I guess.
It's a different world. It really is.
Man,
I only have 10 years to go.
If you folks, you have any questions at the bottom of the hour, it's about 5 more minutes. We're going to open the lines, and you can ask the chief anything about fire, what's it all about, and any questions you have for that, and the teacher. Teacher Lynn. You know, you're a pretty darn looking good teacher. I'll tell you for sure. Yeah. I had some real cool teachers. Mr. Moody was my favorite history teacher, and did very well in that class. It was rough. It was because they don't wait for you; they just keep going, and if you don't get it, you're there for 2 weeks trying to get it.
Well,
it's rough.
we do a lot of really interesting things too with kids that are falling behind. I know at my school we have lunch and learns where if a kid is behind or needs like that extra little bit of help,
Yeah, nice.
we send them to get their lunch. They bring it in and have lunch with the teacher.
Oh, that's
It
nice.
works. And they get that little bit of one-on-one where they need that help.
Yeah. Do you guys still have a teacher's lounge
Of course.
so they can smoke in there? And
No.
not
Oh
no more.
no, campuses are smoke free.
They did at our place. They did. I remember the teachers in there smoking and coffee and whatever. They had, but just to get away from the students, it's a long haul
It's a long day.
and it's a lot, especially some of the attitudes that some of the kids have now.
Yes.
Let's touch on that a little bit before we drop the bottom of the hour. Do you have many problem children?
Not me.
Okay.
I'm
yeah.
very strict.
Okay, good. Good.
But I do have kids that misbehave outside my classroom and different inside my classroom
Yeah,
because I have high expectations and behavior expectations.
good.
But my favorite is when you call the
Yeah.
family and the adult says, "Well, what did you do?"
What?
Yeah.
And your kid's out of control
Yeah.
in my classroom and
So
causing,
that's one of my favorite things.
especially the language. They don't care what they call you. Some of them, and it comes from the home.
It
Starts
does.
there,
It
and
does.
now you have a child that may have dyslexic and he's got other problems, so he's lashing out because these emotions are going and he's
Right.
changing, and a lot of things going on in this kid.
Yep.
And so, like you see, if you catch it early, you can probably attack these different problems with the child. And it's about communication, and you got to have patience. And but now with all these new testing that they're doing now, I was watching all day today. And I go, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Just incredible. And like you say, a lot of these folks that have this dyslexic, they're geniuses
Mhm.
and they're problem solvers. And they're goal seekers. They seek out for their goal in life, what they want to be, and they make it happen.
But they have to work
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they have two things. They have something going against them.
Yes,
So
yes, they have that.
It's not easy.
No,
but
no,
they
but
can do it.
they can do it, and it's not impossible. Follow your dreams, and those are very important, whatever you do in life. And I really believe that. I'm very blessed. I'm very
I think
overblessed.
the same thing that is, there's many of a firefighter, EMS, emergency service working, everybody out there getting past the grades really easy. Some people does, some people don't, but they put their heads to it because that's something they wanted to do, and they passed the grade to get it done.
Mhm.
So it's all in, do I have the initiative? This is what I want to do, and what do I have to do to do it?
Right, and they did it.
They have,
Yeah, and that's what they enjoy. To be a volunteer fireman, that's a commitment.
Well, it is. Even Boy Scouts, anything,
Yes,
any
Right.
children out there,
right.
as long as they've got parents that gives them a hand and push them to it, like the world's open. You can do anything. It don't matter what you want to do. Just because you've got a little different from everybody else, you might say, ain't no reason you can't do something. You might have to do a little different, but there's no reason you can't have to do it.
Yeah,
You-
you have to do it a little different.
Yes, and I beg of people out there to please have the patience for anything like that, or a person that needs the help and actually wants to complete those goals and what have you. I'm going to go to commercial. We'll be back, and we'll be opening the lines up. So stand by.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
I've had to do stuff different.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our children and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on unsupervised teens with low self-esteem, who perform poorly in school, who seek a sense of belonging, or are simply bored. Joining a gang often involves violent hazing rituals. Once in a gang, members can become alienated from their families, school, and friends. Drugs, guns, and malicious activity are common elements in gangs. Trying to leave a gang can be a difficult and dangerous process. The best way to get out of a gang is never to join one. Protect kids from being recruited by a gang. Know who they're hanging out with. Involve kids in after-school activities and provide positive role models. Help reduce gang activities in your community by working with local law enforcement and school systems. Don't let a kid you know get involved with gangs. Visit ncpc.org to learn more or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Every day, people are afraid to report violent crimes. In times like these, choosing to report a crime or helping the police can be a difficult decision. A no-snitching culture has sprung up in our communities, making it unpopular and sometimes even dangerous to report a crime. Do the right thing by calling 911 or your local crime tip line. If you're the victim of a crime, report it. If you know about a crime, report it. To learn more about how to do the right thing, visit ncpc.org or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
He is back. Now, on UFO Talk Radio, Glenn Larry.
And I am back, everybody. We do have our first call. It just came in. And I am going to open that line. Hello, caller. And who are you? And where are you from?
This is Ken out of Florida.
Ken out of Florida. Well, we have Chief Hall here out of Avondale and Teacher Lynn out of Florida, where you're at.
Well, I'm in Punta Gorda.
You know where that's at?
Where?
What is it called? Punta Gorda? What is
Punta Gorda? Yeah.
You know where's that? Okay. How far are you from there?
An hour.
An hour. Man, almost neighbors.
How far is she?
About a mile or 2 miles?
Oh, she's in Port Charlotte then.
Port Charlotte's where you're at?
No, I'm in Tampa.
In Tampa.
Yeah, she's not too far away.
There you
not
go.
Not too far away.
Okay. What question do you have for the chief or our teacher, Lynn?
I'd like to ask the chief a question.
Sure, go ahead for it. He's right here. Not going nowhere.
Do you have a homeless problem in your area?
Do you have a homeless problem in your area?
Not really. We may get a few of them, but we're not like, some of the bigger cities and stuff really has it. Very seldom. The biggest town up from is Wilmington, Delaware, is probably more of the course knows. But around our area, my district, we really don't.
Not bad.
I think he's pretty close to Philadelphia.
Are you close to Philly?
Yes, we're about an hour south of Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm from Fort Indian Town Gap.
5 minutes either way.
It's not bad at all. Not too far.
No, he's real close, but I was in Fort Indian Town Gap. That's Grantville.
Yes, know exactly where it's at.
Oh, great. Ken, did you ever were a volunteer for anything, a fire department or anything like that?
No, I didn't, Larry. No.
Yeah. But you did a lot of truck driving.
But they have a volunteer fire company where I come from, Marysville. See, Pennsylvania is broke down in counties, municipalities, and boroughs.
Yeah.
It's a molecule up there. They got a lot of different things. Some is townships, and some is boroughs, and then some is municipalities.
Yeah. Right.
We're here in Florida. We're all counties.
Yeah, we're counties here also. So,
yeah.
Well, Ken, I want to thank you for your call, and we're going to go to the next caller. And you take care. I'll be hearing from you real soon. You'll be hearing from me too.
We'll get back, but I hope he has fun there because I like Pennsylvania. I like the mountains, and I'm here in Florida. It's all flat land.
Well, I also got a place in Florida. I'm a half hour south of Tampa. I'm down in Ruskin.
Oh, well, you're close. Well, I'm in Punta Gorda.
Well, never know.
It's a beautiful place. I mean, we're a little messed up from the storm last year. We had, I'd still say there's 1,200-1,500 roofs in my neighborhood that need replaced, but
And the stop sign.
it's just going to take a long time to recover. Just to get our road signs up, we don't have road signs are all laying down. They're covered up with grass, and it's still a pretty good bit of damage here yet.
Yeah. These things don't heal themselves overnight. I'll guarantee you that. Yeah. Ken, again, I want to thank you for calling, and we'll be in touch.
Well, thank you, Larry.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Bye.
One of my favorite callers. You know, he's a great guy, and they've done a lot for the station too. Him and D and his wife. D is his wife, and yeah, great people. I have not heard from Neil or Barbara from London, but sometimes they'll call. But it's pretty early in the morning or late in the morning, about now, I guess. So, yeah.
What time is it?
Yeah. Probably about 4 in the morning, whatever. I don't know, 8 hours difference, I guess. But yeah, I'm going to open the lines. I'm going to give that number out to everybody.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
And I am back. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Teacher, have you volunteered for anything but teaching, or just that's
I
it?
volunteered as a coach at school.
Oh, yeah, that counts. That
Does it?
counts.
Okay.
Volleyball or what?
Volleyball,
yeah.
which is funny since I've never played the sport. But if they needed me, they didn't have anybody, and it was either I stepped up or there was no volleyball team. So
That's great. That's great.
it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Well, when I talked about the UFO retrieval stuff, you got to check into that for me. See if you, I know it's going to be a hard question to ask somebody. You go, what? Why is he asking me that? Go, say a radio host asked you. That's your.
I have to look it up. I don't know if there is a protocol. My guess is Uncle Sam, the governor, might have one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're not aware of it.
Yeah. Well, they'd be there really fast because on the radar, they're watching for that. Yeah.
As far as those first responders and everything else,
Right.
never really thought about it.
Right.
I got a long time in the fire service, just never thought about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'll get that question. I want to say hello to the Pioneer down there at the in Good Springs since 1913. Great place to go have fun and talk with folks. And I'm down there once in a while. We've been there before too, haven't we, Chief? Yeah.
Great place.
Yeah. Fun place. Steve, the good friend of mine.
This way, stop in and see the Pioneers.
You got to see the town too. It's a little town,
Got
cool
good
town.
food.
Yeah.
Just ate down there on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah. Well, did you? Good. Fantastic. We want to talk about Old Man Liver. That's a whiskey out there. And the man that owns that place is Old Man Liver. And he has his own podcast. Look for Old Man Liver podcast. I will be on his show tomorrow at 4:00. And we're going to have some fun. Yeah, we will. Heck of a nice guy. Also want to say hello to Ray's Honey out there. You'll see on my website. I do have his number. Anything you want to know about honey? And for me, I take it for my allergies, which has gone away because I used to honey. It's supposed to be in your area, which really helps with these changing of the seasons and what blows around. Especially out here when it blows around, you got a lot of everything. Also want to say hello to Sheldon Battery. They supplied all the batteries for the RV we had and the cars here, and they take care of us. You want to know about batteries and what happens to batteries? Well, batteries don't like heat, especially 110, 113, 14. Yeah, my battery went out in my truck. So I've got a loaner from a friend of mine, and I've got to go get a battery. That should be done this week. Maybe we can run down when we're out and about, But you want to ask any question about batteries now, Sheldon Battery, their number is 702-362-8180. That's the number to call. You have questions about batteries and what shelf life, how to store them, all that stuff. 702-362-8180. And that'll be Sheldon Battery. Ask for Jeff. Yeah, he's just a good friend of mine. No problem. But those are the people we want to say hello to. Now, there's Karen's Diner. It is called Creekside Diner. I go out there, and I got a couple birthday gifts, breakfast and lunch and whatever, but I got to get out there to use them. So hopefully I'll make it out there. But she really supports EMS, the fire, the police, and all the responders. And yeah, she's a great gal. And she's on Kennett Square out there in Pennsylvania. Kennett Square. And what is the town's name where she's at?
Kennett Square.
Kennett Square. That's it.
Kennett Square,
Okay.
yeah, Kennett Square.
I think she's on this avenue there. It says Kennett Square too, doesn't it?
She's
Yeah.
on the edge of town.
Edge of town. Yeah. Nice little place.
Nice little diner.
Yeah. I love old diners, tell you for sure. Yeah, I really do.
They got good food.
Yeah.
They've always treated everybody good.
Yeah, they really have. And I want to say hello to, of course, I never say hello to Chief out there at station 23, but we want to say hello to everybody out there in that station. And again, I'm going to put up that what the station looks like. Our little station here, volunteered for years. Yeah, is like it's a little doghouse. You could put it in the station. This station is huge. And what would you say the money it takes to run that station a year?
as far as dollar wise, I don't want to say into it, but it's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, every time you call 911, you're expecting somebody to show up.
You betcha.
All that equipment, all the paid EMS and medics and stuff, it's a large amount of money. I'd hate to see what Clark County's bill is here for emergency services.
Which is pretty high.
It's quite up there.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't think about that either. You know that? A lot of people don't think it's what the cost, what it takes
Clark County, I'm sure it's all, I'm sure they may get some donations, but most of theirs is always tax funded.
Right.
Ours is our stuff from the townships and our donations. So, when we're out there, you've got in the middle of the night, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you've got 10, 15, 20 guys that got out of bed to go, and ladies. I shouldn't say guys all the time, but we've got ladies and everything else. They gets out of bed to go answer his call. And ain't nothing says, there's no law says I got to get out of bed and go do it, but we do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
if we had to pay for all that in Avondale for us,
right.
It would be quite the big, large amount of money.
We used to wake up to a beeper back in the day, then run down to the department, get suited and go. We couldn't keep our stuff at home because of contamination or whatever it may come from a fire. You don't want to bring that home with you. So
we have a lot of guys that carries gear with them, guys and girls that carries gear with them.
Firefighters.
But it's for accident call stuff. They get into anything. We have washer and dryers back at stations made just for that heavy gear.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Come back. We have a building fire. First thing happened, we get trucks in service. Everybody was in the fire. It all gets washed.
We have to take ours down, or used to. I don't know what they do now. I know that we have a great fire chief. She is very active, and we've got about 4 people at that. Again, get involved. Everybody's listening. I listen here at KGhost FM 101.3 AM 1610, local in town also. And I would love to have you talk to the chief and all that. They have regular meetings. We do have another call coming in, so stand by. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you from?
Hello, this is Stephen Hall from Avondale, Pennsylvania.
Avondale. Stephen, how you doing, sir?
How you doing today, Mr. Larry?
We're doing just fine. We got you got your dad here, by the way.
Well, that's good. That's why I called in for both of you.
Well, thank you. Are you keeping things going down at that fire department?
Yes, I am, sir.
Yeah, you know quite a bit. You took me around and showed me all the trucks, told me what was on the trucks, what tools did what. Yep. And I go, I never saw one of those before, but he knew it all. Yep. I didn't know it. I mean, wow, and I was very, very impressed, Stephen. Really impressed.
Yes,
and,
I did.
Did how many of you guys listening tonight? You got a couple of them, I hope.
Oh, I got a whole bunch here and everything. They're listening to you tonight and everything.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I got my fire shirt on here. I got a couple of them. But
well, we appreciate it, Mr. Larry.
Well, we appreciate you guys and what you're doing, and it's a blessed service that you're doing, by the way.
Yep.
Well, Steve, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to thank all the guys down there, and I will arrive in May probably. So we'll have some fun out there.
Okay, Mr. Larry, you have a good night. And tell Chief Paul he had a good night too.
I will. God bless. Thank you, sir.
All right.
You got it.
No problem.
Great guy. Yeah. Gosh, got them all down there listening. No, I know right in that firehouse. Yeah. And how clean it is. You can eat off those floors. Unbelievable.
Oh, I know.
And even in the bay, and there's nothing laying around. I mean, it's all put away correctly, and where you go and grab it, you're ready to go. And we're the same, but we got a lot of dust, and you don't have what we have here. You get rain.
Well, you guys got the dust, we get the pollen.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know which is worse.
Right. Yeah. Gosh. Well,
when our trucks are already green, so you can't see too well on the pollen.
You have some light colored ones too, like yours, more yellow though. Then we have the red, the old red. That's what I call it. And boy, can show the dirt, but we keep our stuff in our hoses all well done. I know these guys work very hard. I was just talking about Colleen, our fire chief, and the guys that work there. You might have seen them. I think I have a picture of them up here. Yeah, when we had our historical society deal, they were selling some stuff, food, I believe. Do I have it up here? Maybe I let them go because I got piles of pictures. But yeah, what great folks, and they're hardworking, and again, they meet, I believe, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So you may have changed the date. So you folks in wonderful Good Springs, downtown Good Springs, people live here and around and about the area. I believe it's every third Tuesday at 6:00. And but you want to contact Colleen, the local chief, 702-874-1502. That's 702-874-1502. If you want to volunteer, yeah. And by the way, if you're here in town, I want to remind you about the beautiful town we're in. But the Historical Society, Good Springs Historical Society, needs volunteers too. We're fixing up these old buildings, are trying to preserve them where people don't, I think I'll take some tin off that building and take it home. No, this is private property, but it's an old town, and there's history to this town, and every little building has a kind of a little sign what it is and what it's all about. So if you come into Good Springs, respect the property, respect the town, but enjoy the town. It's a lot of fun up here. Quiet.
Sure there is.
Quiet.
Like to see.
I can hear you yawn when you're down the street. Of course, I'm not listening to my station if you hear that, because I've got good music. We're going to go into a fast commercial. We will be right back. Again, I want to thank you for listening, everybody. This is K-Ghost Radio, FM 11.3, AM 1610. And let's go back into this.
He is back now on UFO Talk Radio.
That is me. But I want to do a fast one here for you. Yeah.
Mom, you wanted to talk to me?
The calendar hypnosis into thumbtack cushion, completely tailwind. And sewing elephants plant before cartoon paper cups. So numbers renovate.
If your teenager is trying drugs or alcohol, would you know the right words to use?
Afterward, lightly fish scale. Doorbell.
Find out what to say at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Are you ready? What you are about to experience is real. Right along with us. From deep in the desert of Nevada, the Glenn Larry Show.
And we are back. We're back with Chief Hall from Avondale Fire Department out there in Pennsylvania. And we have Lynn, the teacher. Teacher Lynn. Yeah. Hey, I love my teachers. The teachers are special when you're growing up and you're going to school, and then after high school, they're out on their own. They're gone. You may have some stay behind. But but when you're like 38 and you're still in high school, it's kind of like what happened there. Time to go.
But I have to say, I do have some students that are now in college that I'm very close to. Like there's that time where I'm like, I'm your teacher, you're a student, but once they're out of high school, you
become friends. Yeah, you betcha. Yeah. It's that professional relationship, which I think is fantastic. Gosh, I want people to go to the dyslexia.com or look it up on the internet. They got many videos of it. You just go to the video side and you're going to learn a lot about that, because if you're a parent and your child is having problems, get it identified and get it taken care of, because this can affect their whole life, and it will affect their own life. They got to deal with a bunch of stuff, and to overcome some of this stuff, it's very hard. And I'll tell you for sure. I'm going to open the lines again and see if we get some more calls.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
Yes, and I am back again. I'm going to clear this picture here. And we're back in the studio. Now you can see all of us really good. It's the tone and the lights are just perfect right now. I'm telling you can see that. Before it was kind of, the glare. It gets hot out here. Today, I guess it was 108.
It was 107 in my truck.
Okay, yeah. So, and then it changes.
Goes up, down a couple degrees.
Yeah, and in Vegas right now,
I know in Boulder City on Sunday it was 117.
No, yeah, I got the air conditioners going.
The truck was doing all it could do.
Yeah, mine's running here, and it's cool, but it's a little warm.
It's better in the last. Yeah,
that's outside. Yeah. And they came over and brought some chicken for old Larry here. Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Larry, one thing I got to say too about the election.
Go ahead.
You know, I think the days, you know, back early years, 60s, 70s, 80s, I don't think it was recognized as much. Now you've got more teachers that's trained to recognize it and get help. Where back in the days, you know, the older days, I just, you know, there was a lot of stuff that went through school that, you know, either teachers wasn't trained for or doctors or somebody just didn't catch it because they didn't know nothing about it. But nowadays, I think with the teachers and everything they have, I think any kid that has it has much better chance today than they did back in the 60s and 70s and 80s. That's just an opinion.
Well, I think that's very true. I mean, I'm going to say it's pretty crazy. Do you have a child out there that's having a problem reading and writing and having problems with math or what have you? If you have some questions, call. We'll answer them for you. You know, we have a professional here that deals with that every day when you teach. And so don't be afraid to call. We're going to open the lines again.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
I think he does a great job. Thank you, Ross. Again, I want to tell you about the CD that we have here. That is Chris Ears, and that's available on the website Country Vault Radio. It has that little square thing. You can punch that or look him up on the internet where you can get this album. He's got a couple new ones out now. You get a chance. He's down at the Pioneer playing, I believe, Saturdays when we can get him. Always can call ahead if you'd like to do that. But seriously, he's a very talented songwriter, very talented artist and singer. Check him out, Chris Ears, and that's Heers, Chris, Chris. So look for his albums and look for him on the internet, and you'll really be impressed. You've heard the openings. He has a couple of them on there that about the butterfly and then Ride Pony Ride, and the one that had a message about Mr. Lincoln and all this stuff for Mr. Lincoln. Oh, just incredible writer. And I have a next door neighbor, by the way, too. He is a songwriter. He has a bunch of stuff that I've played on the radio here for you, and we play on the AM/FM side. And so we got some talent up here too. So but they've done Nashville. They did the tour.
Amazing area.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Really is. The sun is going down, folks. We have some purple in the clouds. But I was hoping to get some rain. We had the monsoon thing come through. We call it the monsoon season because it really floods, but it doesn't last long. But downtown, in certain sections of Las Vegas, flash floods are dangerous. And if you're driving, do not drive through them because you don't know how deep that water may be. You're going to be floating.
That's anywhere, Larry, from a first responder. If you come upon a road that's flooded and you're not sure, don't take the chance. Turn around and go back.
Yes.
Some other way. Because unfortunately, people does it. They do it by accident. Nobody does it on purpose. And the next thing you know, I'm having to put men and women's lives on the line to come save you because you made an accident. Just think before you do it, turn around and go back. And that saves everybody a lot of problems. But sometimes it happens. I'm not saying they do it on purpose. Nobody does it on purpose. You say, oh, I can get through that with no problem. The next thing you know, you can't.
You're floating down like a boat.
Now, you got to call the emergency service out to help. It's what that's our job is. I'm not saying we go help anybody at any time, day or night, or what it is. Accidents happen all the time. And that's what we come deal with.
Yeah.
But some things you can think about a little bit at first before you do it to save a lot of headache down the road.
Mentioning downtown Vegas or certain areas because the sewer drains were built for special things, and now we've grown up and things around them, and it's water has no place to go. It builds up, and that fills that hole of that drainage, and it goes out the other drainage, and then you got this whole thing going on, and that rises. And
it even gets rained in the mountains out here.
Yeah,
it rain like crazy in the mountains. You might not see a drop of rain down here in the valley. Next thing you know, you look, Where'd all this water come from?
Or we get a bit of a
Coming downhill.
slide. I know Sandy Valley up there, they've had washouts with that rock, and wherever you may be. So, God, so how about drive in sensibly and really
Yes,
making sure you're not going to drive? Yeah.
We've done several water rescues, and it's mostly been somebody thought I could get through. It wasn't on the purpose thing.
No,
It's just,
no.
It happened, and that's what we're there for.
Right.
If you
right.
get into a situation, do not fail to call 911.
I realize that some of these phones that you lost service, that you no longer have, you have a cell phone that you're not connected to Wi-Fi or whatever, but you can get to 911. It just
We
automatically.
get it, but a house line or a ground line, the call taker can pinpoint you faster. Trying to pinpoint a cell phone sometimes could be
Right.
takes a little longer.
Timer. Yeah. I have radios up here for some of the folks in the community here. It's Good Springs Links, and your phone doesn't work, cell doesn't work. You got that radio, and I'll hear it on when it comes on. So I'm picking my landline up and using the radios I have, ham radio, CB sideband, all that. But I know special emergency channels that people are listening to, and if something goes down, well, at least we have it here. The radio station of Good Springs is providing the communications for help. And that's, we all have to look at each other, at each of us in our little town, and take care of each other. And we do. We have a great food bank that's taking care of a lot of people. This gal started it, and Katie's her name, and started going and applied for all the stuff. And now people are getting food up here. They didn't have food.
Good.
Yeah. So they volunteer. That's volunteering. That's a tithing thing. I believe with God. And so I think it's a really neat thing. And, help your neighbor, do what you can, money is tight. I'm telling you, money's tight all over. And we don't know what the future is going to bring us. We don't know, but regardless how it goes, EMS, the fire, police, all that, you got those services. We hope it stays and where it's at.
Well, let's hope so.
Because we can't lose that.
No, it's when you get that call taker on the line, and that's one of the things I'd like to say. The call takers and the dispatchers are just as important as emergency service people are, because the call taker and the dispatcher don't send it out right. We don't know what's going on. They're the first line of defense. That's the person you get first.
And
so them people is most important than we are.
When people call 911, they're all excited, and what's the most important thing they can tell that 911 operator?
What the situation is and where you're at. That is exactly what you want to do. What is my situation, or I'm at a situation, and where are you at? Because cell phones they can be tracked, but most of the time, some of the call takers, they might not be tracking it. So you need to know what the situation is. I'm at XYZ intersection. There is a car crash, and
Or you're in a building, where you're at in the building.
Right, here it is. There's 3 cars involved, 2 cars involved. But while you're talking to somebody on there, they're on their computer. It's already been seen being dispatched. Just because you're talking to them, don't mean I'm going to hurry up and hang up so you can send somebody. While you're talking to them, it's already being dispatched.
That's great.
As long as you're talking, they'll talk to you and get more information, what's going on. And that goes over. So the first police officer or fire chief or officer comes on, he's getting all this information already.
That's very important.
Information
Folks.
is top line.
Yeah.
The more you got, the better we handle it.
Right. I do have a suicide hotline number, which is not 911. It is 988. So if you're having problems and you want to do what you got to do call that number first. And there's help for everyone. There really is, because tomorrow's another day.
There's help for everybody out there. You need help.
That's right, Chief. We're coming to the top of the hour. I really want to thank you for being on the show, Chief Hall. Yeah. And Teach Lynn there. Look at her over there. She's great. I just love her. You remind me of one of my teachers, by the way. And she was a sweetie, just like you. So, gosh.
Thank you.
And did you enjoy your little vacation out here?
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing.
Good.
It's been amazing. Every day is a new adventure.
Yeah, especially with that guy. He's my big brother. I love him dearly.
It has truly been amazing.
Yeah.
I can see why he loves it out here so much.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have him, and everybody knows him up here. He can go anywhere, I swear to God. Anywhere I'm at, hey, Chief Hall, someone's yelling his name. And I don't know how you get around. So, you got a poster, or you're giving out cards, or they have. I mean, do they get a casino chip with your face on it, or what's going on there? Now, come on.
I don't know how he does it either.
Oh, we want to thank everybody for listening. This is K-Ghost Radio, and my little note to you guys, top of the hour. Now, we want to thank you for tuning in on Tuesday. Don't forget to go to YouTube, subscribe to us, and like us. Ring that bell if you can. And we want to thank Dee and Ken out there in Florida, and Randy, everybody out there. God bless you. We'll see you next Tuesday. And again, thank you very much. I'm Glenn Larry. Play well. Thank you.